Okay, after an interruption, we're continuing. It's Prokofiev 6, first movement. This area where the A motive gets tossed around a lot. Oh, yes. That's where checking on my left hand was. May as well play fifth finger roll. 1, 2, 3. Could have been 4. Just there's no reason to have my my left hand that much further away from where it's going. So. Should know. I'm going to go 5 to 4. The leap to 5 is much easier, but then I want 4, so. That's it, so. I'm noticing that little shift of my gaze these leaps, at least for now, is a really useful way of noting the register, noting what's going on. Shift, shift, So I'll have to get used to this little detail. That Prokofiev is consistent. So, if I use a repeated finger, I'm just noticing at 128, repeated note fingering like 4, 3, 2, 1. That works fine. And then when I have the slur finger, if I'm not on 5 at the bottom, I do want to go up to 1, 2 on F and A and 129. So all it takes is reminding myself to play fifth finger at the end of this figure. So I isolate from the rest. I should really, when I don't need it, I don't need a repeated note fingering at all. Which is to say I can use a repeated finger. I'm going to go 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, here's the melody in augmentation. Originally in this key. So what's the relation? Down a third, okay. So he's exploring different key relationships. Okay, we have the original. Now down here. What am I doing? Oh no. Original, next, and down. something other than a 5 here, in spite of the lead, because I have to go further. 1, 4, 3, 2 feels particularly good, although 3, 4, 4, 4 would be. For now, I'm going to go with 1, 4. And use the same thing, the octave lower when it happens. So 1, 4, 3, 2. So far, so good. Okay. Another nice thing is that this chord, G, A, C, hasn't gotten transposed at all. It's a sort of a pedal chord. That's something we keep referring to. I'm going to just stick with that. So. That's 2 4s in a row. Oh, no big deal. Okay, again, a sustaining business. Or oh, I do. I'm going to write in the sostenuto pedal. May not use it, and it requires fast footwork because to avoid holding the left hand as well, I have to put it down after the 8th notes are done, right here, going to the 3rd beat of 134. But I do like that texture, it's so clear. I didn't notice it. No. That in 130 it's possible to do that. Boy, that needs fast feet. So there's a rhythm to it. It's about the push pedal. Push pedal. It's like a 16th pedal. The alternative. It's not terrible. It's just not. I do, yeah. I think it's worth it. Missed it. So it's new enough that there's a certain frenzy here, but it's starting to fall into place. I'm gonna look ahead because I want to get to the end of this section and see how it worked out. And then it goes on and does other things. So I won't do that yet because I want to finish the show. Okay, we're still going to have more later. What's happening is that in this developmental process, as it were, he's adding figurations of various sorts. I guess not unlike Beethoven, who tends to sectionalize his developmental process and have one kind of a treatment and another kind of a treatment. In this case, we're done with all of this repeated notes. We aren't done with the repeated notes. We're done with them in isolation with the A motive. We're going to have arpeggios. arpeggiation in a moment to add to the mix. Then, so he's going to use the arpeggiation as a means of getting back and forth between the registers. Meanwhile, an unused kind of chordal figuration, parallel, major minor sevenths, unfilled in, no fifths, and then, nope, yes. To help define these chords for me is to define the hand feeling. 1, 3, 5s in parallel work very well. There's an A minor second inversion and a minor 7, D sharp minor 7. So there's a contrary motion quality to that. Then again, for me, I could stick with 1, 3, 5 with the F sharp. But finding the 5 in there, especially putting the 3 on the A, is not so fun for me. So I'm going to go to 4 instead, 4, 2, 1. So it makes a huge difference. You can see immediately there's a sense of fluency. That's always what I'm looking for when I'm looking for a good gesture, a good grouping, is fluency. Recognition that all the notes of the pattern fall together comfortably and nicely, and I can negotiate the moves reasonably. Again, a possibility for sostenuto. I may as well write it down so my eye will be caught by the opportunity and the need to try it. That's good. Prokofiev suggests is left, right, that I bring my right hand all the way down there. Right, left, right, left, right. I think maybe just to stabilize. That's obviously a pianist thinking he wants me to stabilize. Oh, also, it's got an accent. It's, even though it's the second note of a 2/8 note beamed together gesture at 138, going into 139. Everything is backwards. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, let's see, 1, 1. Oh, I'm misreading. There's overlap. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, he is sticking with downbeat accent, so I've got 1 and 2. Because I suckered myself into misreading that, I'm going to put and 2, so I know where I am. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. 1. Quickly the fluency develops, much of it aided by my telling myself where I was going, A to B to B to B, C, and so I could see on the keyboard what to do. The shift is made much easier that way. So look to the A. Look to the A. Think A, think B. There we go. stabilize, that's good. 1 and 2, there's 3 Bs actually. Yeah, thumb seems easiest right now. If I use a longer finger, maybe, let's see. Looking for some kind of melodic connection. It goes from E up here to F down here to B down there. Well, one nice thing is that the F thumb is already there, so right hand just has to go. How nice. I'm always appreciative of a pianistic, of a thing that falls under the hand nicely. Any number of fingers could work here, but the thumb is most direct and actually most passive because it's the least flexible. I like to call it the most representative of whatever the arm gesture is. So I move in on it, and it gives me the accent that's indicated, and all is well. And I do it twice. Okay, so these fingers become much less intrusive. In other words, they felt applied as if there was some specific difficulty, but now they feel good. So, and then I have to shift. Same finger, but up an octave yet again. Now, there's so much potentially to think about. I don't know. I don't want to have to think about this anymore. Think about my right hand going up there. So, all this time, I have lots of time to get my right hand. And to reiterate, that odd sounding transition is the type of transition that doesn't get practiced enough in many instances. Because it doesn't sound connected, it doesn't sound musically like a significant element, but from the point of view of building calm, building a sense of trusting what you're doing, you have to know the complexities of what you're doing and make them simple. So that now although that wasn't an accurate chord, it feels good to find it. It's easy to find it. Shock is when there's a bunch of events and there's too many events for you to be able to predict comfortably in time. So you have to get used to them and string together unlike events to make them part of a larger chunk. So then this becomes comfortable. He marks the theme with accents, but I'm going to use little carrots just to indicate. So this augmentation is very clear, but more and more stuff happens around it. That doesn't change the fact that we need the calm of that theme to be available. It's central to what's going on. So stuff happening. In this case, that is going to be doubled at the octave. And some of the time, it's even going to be split between the hands. Single. Well, I want to check the original. A rise in the fourth. So could be. The melody, 144 is a whole note. Now he writes accented downbeat with this chord cluster. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 white notes. And the melody continues on the second beat, but it looks as if there's something significant on the first beat. But it's not melodic. 1, 2, 3, 4. So even though it's accented, I'm going to put parentheses around it just to indicate to me, for my own understanding, that that's not thematic. Okay, now let's see what's going on. This D minor arpeggio. Okay, I'm going to turn standard fingering like decide again with held notes in this piece. I decide between using the damper to hold the note. I'm not saying that I won't use the damper for sonority, for blending sonorities together or linkages, but just in terms of this texturally involved thematic developmental section. This would sound perfectly fine without anything else attached to it. That doesn't sound so hot. So. I'm thinking soft tenuto. There is a potential, well, a considerable problem. If I do it when I'm playing another note, then that other note becomes a part of that held sonority. So if I do it when the left hand quits, the left hand has a quarter note, the right hand has a whole note held through the measure, which you obviously can't do physically, so at least with your hands. So if I stopped, if I changed my fingering and had it for one quarter note, and then stuck it down, I have for me, well, that's actually not bad. Now, this is where, interestingly enough, the pedaling really dramatically changes the fingering. I had wanted a standard D minor fingering, but if I pedal, put the sostenuto pedal where I want it, when I'm hearing just Ds, I have to go 1, 2, 3, 5, so my right hand can stay in place one note longer. So in this case, my fingering definitely is dictated to by my pedaling. Excellent. And the application of the pedal happens right on the end of the first beat. Now I already looked at this cluster, so I know what to expect. Okay. Interesting. The only sonority link is these low repeated Bs going to here, because Prokofiev has actually gone out of his way to say make this only a dotted quarter. rest in this melody. Okay, good. Good to know. Okay, now here I don't understand Prokofiev's marking. He's not averse to putting in an octave in one hand or the other hand or in both hands, depending on what's convenient. He has split the two notes of this octave here. But that then means that the left hand jumps around. So there's absolutely no reason that I can think of not to play that in the right hand alone as an octave. None that I can think of. And then here, of course, it's obvious when the right hand's up there, then it has to be the left hand. But I just don't understand his particular suggested hand. There's a lot of jumping for no good reason. I could even take the last note in the left hand if I want to be really calm, since I have to let go of my right hand thumb anyway. The next one is more meaningful in the left hand, because if I take the last A in the left hand, especially with the third finger, then it's perfectly in place for the next octave on 143. So that would be right. Right has the melody. The right hand and have it play. So that's what the right hand plays. And the left hand plays. And that result is third finger down, because I like it. So I want to remember. There we go. The double note version of the theme. So we had interesting arrives on the third note without the support of the bass note. And then the after note is supported by this other figure. Sorry, F natural. So to remind myself that the left hand has an isolated single note. just enough complexity that I don't want to have to think about it. So I have to build that into my choreography. I'm using fifth 3 times in a row. I'm going to move it in on the key. I'm going to walk along the beat, and then fall back out on C on the longer 4th finger. So, whoops, that's not what I said. Higher still, he's using the whole keyboard for this motive. E, F sharp A, probably 1, 2, 3. 1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2 and 3, and this holds, so it's maybe another pedaled note. Chromaticizes it and gets to a different place. Okay, so he's using an intriguing number of treatments for that B theme, and I will explore more later.